Chapter 5 is say what you mean. Tell at least one person most of what you think or feel. Or if that's too dangerous for any one person to know, spread it around. But people need to know, you need to be able to say what's actually going on in your life and in your work and in your personal thoughts. If we say things out loud to people, sometimes we feel better, we solve problems. Also, when you're thinking about this chapter, think about who needs to hear a no from you. There's probably somebody in your life that you should be saying no to, and give that some serious thought. If you have a conversation coming up with someone that's tough, that you've really been putting it off, you don't want to have it, there's some things that you can do that help, a writing process that helps you get ready for the conversation. You would use the free writing style that I explained to you earlier, but actually write the answers to these questions. And they are, what do you think about the situation? What do you feel about it? What do you want? What will be the good or bad consequences if you get what you want? What are you willing to do to get what you want? What do you think the other person wants? Can you give him or her any of what they want? And what will you do if they do not do what you want? Now, you don't use all this information when you have the conversation, but it helps you think it through ahead of time. It helps you get clear about what it is you want to say. It gives you courage for the saying of it. And when you write the section about good consequences or bad consequences, sometimes you find out that the risk of this conversation is really too high. The bad consequences are too great. It's wonderful to know that before you get into the middle of a conversation. So this kind of writing preparation can help you get ready. Chapter 7 is work when you need to. Are you working enough to get the job done and yet not too much? No one is working 40-hour weeks anymore, but no one should either be working 90-hour weeks, and I know some people who are trying to pull that off. Where I work, we have a lot of physicians, and there was an online discussion session, and a question was asked, what do you do about a surgeon who is operating 24 hours straight? Well, you stop it. That's not safe. Something bad is going to happen. Now, working all the time can feel good. It can chase away scary thoughts. It can make money. It can get you out of unpleasant family confrontations. A lot of us use it for those things, to get out of things we don't want to do. Bosses, co-workers, spouses, parents, children, all kinds of relatives will cheerfully work you into the ground if you let them. So you have to say, when is enough enough? I know we're all worried about job loss, and we're all trying to do as much as we can to keep our jobs, and yet if we don't put some control on that, we're going to lose the health that allows us to do the job. So you have to learn to say, when is enough enough, and live with the disapproval that you may well get because you didn't keep on doing what other people wanted you to do. Next chapter, choose what you think. I used to think that whatever went on in my head was what was supposed to go on in my head. Just all these random thoughts. They were supposed, because they were happening, that's what was supposed to happen. Well, left unattended, my brain will think of all kinds of negative things. And that was not useful and helpful to me. I had to learn that you can take control of that and make it stop. And it involves doing two things. One, you have to do a relaxation exercise, and then at the end of it, say a positive sentence to yourself. I went through a 15-week program, an audio tape program many years ago that taught me how to do this. And I was to listen to that relaxation exercise a lot of times during the day and then add a positive sentence each week. And the sentence I began with was, I enjoy being free of worry, fear, and anxiety. Now the truth is, that was a lie. I was filled with all those things. But I kept doing the relaxation exercise and saying that positive sentence, and then I added one each week till I had about 8. I said them so much that if I got up in the night to go to the bathroom, they would automatically just start rolling in my head. And it made a huge difference in how relaxed I was. It stopped my panic attacks. The last chapter is dance when you can. Now I am using this term dance as a metaphor for anything that's fun. What is it fun for you to do? And if you have a hard time answering the question, think back to when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. What did you do for fun? And are you doing anything related to those activities now? I asked this question to myself as I was journal writing. I asked it over and over and over again. I didn't have an answer at first, but finally I came up with an answer. I like to read, write, paint, sew, knit, and dance. And when I have a day alone or free time, even when it's just an hour or so, I will pick one of those things and do them in order to make myself happier. I walk every evening, and at the end of the walk, I dance by myself in my basement to music that I like. I put together playlists on tape recorders, CDs, now on my iPhone, and I just really, every evening, I just wiggle around and look foolish, even do it in a mirror like I used to when I taught myself to dance when I was 14. I held on to the bedpost and danced, really learning the Virginia version of the shag. It makes me happy, it helps me be grateful for the things in my life, and it helps me figure out ways to give back to the world for the privilege of being here.